Queens don't wait around for men. They don't wait around for men to be ready. They don't wait around for men to change. They don't wait around for this specific man. I really like this one, but he's not treating me right. They do not wait. They decide what it is that they want. They get very specific about their desires and how they want to be treated and what the character of their king is going to be. And then they wait on that thing. They attract that thing. They don't look for a specific man. They don't target a specific man and then sit there waiting around for this man to choose them. No, they decide what it is that they want and then they attract that thing. Guys, I have to talk to you about this concept of waiting because it's something that we've gotten way too comfortable with in our society right now. There are so many wonderful women wasting years of their life waiting on men to choose them. And this manifests in different ways. Sometimes it's a woman in a situationship. What the heck is that? Waiting for a guy to make her his girlfriend. I mean, that you don't get more pathetic than that. Sometimes it's a girlfriend waiting on a boyfriend to make her his wife. There's too much waiting going on, and you lose your power when you get into this waiting crap. You lose your power when you give yourself over to a man who has not made you his wife yet. When you're not a wife and you don't have the protections and securities of being a man's wife. And whenever I say that, some people like to come back and say, well, he could cheat on you even if you're the wife. He can leave you, he can whatever. Well, I hope if you marry a guy, if you choose to marry a guy, number one, you have a lot of trust in him. But number two, you also have financial things set up to where if he does leave you, you at least get something out of it. That's the securities of being a wife, is if a man leaves you, you get to split his assets. You get money out of it. So there's a consequence for that man not being loyal to you. There's a consequence when a husband breaks the marital contract. If there's not going to be a consequence, it doesn't even make sense. Why are you even in that marriage to begin with? There needs to be securities and systems set up that protect you if a man does leave you in marriage. Those systems don't even exist outside of marriage. They don't exist. And so you're treating these boyfriends in these situationships like you have something to get out of them. You have nothing. All a situationship or a boyfriend is, when you're waiting on these guys, they're just using you while you get nothing. And the reason why your body is so desperate for them to choose you and so desperate to get into the next step of the relationship, to get into a marriage, is because you internally know, even if you don't consciously know in your mind, your body and your spirit knows this man is getting everything out of me right now and I'm getting nothing. I don't give a damn if he's buying you dinners. I don't care what he's doing for you. Your spirit knows this man's getting everything from me right now. He's getting my heart. He's getting emotionally built up by even being in my presence. Yes, men build themselves up just by being in a woman's presence. Have you ever noticed, if you see an unattractive man out just by himself, if you just go out and you see an unattractive man in a t-shirt and jeans, you're like, okay, you probably don't even look at him. You're like, yeah, whatever. If you see an unattractive man out in a t-shirt and jeans with a woman by him, a beautiful woman by him, what do you think in your head? How'd he get her? How'd he get her? The first thing my mind goes to is, oh, he's really wealthy or he's really cool. Regardless of what it is, regardless of if you think, whoa, how'd he get her? He must be really wealthy. Whoa, how'd he get her? He must have a really good personality. He must be funny. Just simply the woman being by him makes other people in the world think of him as being supreme. Because how could he get her if he wasn't supreme in a certain area? He must have a supreme personality. He must have a supreme bank account. He must have something about him that even allows him to be in proximity to this woman. Y'all don't realize that. You're just going off your feelings, floating around. Oh, I like this guy, whatever. You don't understand your power. You simply being in proximity to a man levels him up. So when you're in these situationships, when you're in these boyfriend-girlfriend relationships and you're waiting for marriage and you're wanting the next step, sometimes you think, oh, I just really want marriage. I just whatever. No, your spirit recognizes I'm getting nothing. I'm not protected right now. And this man is getting built up just by being around my energy. This is why, by the way, and we've talked about this before, this is why a man will be with a woman for 6 years, dating her, boyfriend, girlfriend, 6 years. Oh, we're going to get married one day. We're going to get married. She's there waiting. She's there waiting. He breaks up with her and he's married to a different woman in 6 months. For those 6 years, he was building himself up. He was building himself up financially. But he was also really one thing we need to talk more about is this idea of a man building himself up emotionally. He was sucking this woman's energy, building himself up. And then when he was built up to a level that he felt comfortable at and he was ready to discard this woman, he did just that. He tossed her to the side. He found someone else and he married her. I will not. I don't care if I have to offend you. I don't care. I'm not going to allow that to be you. If that's going to be you and you're watching my videos, I at least want you to know that's you. Because information is power. So I at least want you to be convicted in your spirit that oh, this is me right now. I don't want it to be you and then you figure it out afterwards. That's why I'm okay with offending you or just sort of triggering you or whatever, because I want you to know. So at least if you know and you make a stupid choice, you know, you can't blame anyone else. A lot of women are getting fooled and they don't figure it out till afterwards. We have to put a stop to it. When you decide what it is you want, queens decide what they want. Queens say, this is the character of the man I want, period. And that's what I'm getting. So if I say I want a really giving, supportive, and loving man, and he makes me feel these things, and a man comes into my life, and guess what? It's not always easy. You'll need to understand that. You have to get this right now. It's not always easy. This isn't a walk in the park. Do y'all think it's just gonna be sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns out there? Life's hard, and life is really tempting. This is the problem. This guy named Kyle Creek, he's one of my friends, and he left a comment on one of my videos yesterday, and he said something like, you go into the grocery store wanting to make healthy decisions until you see junk food that's really bad for you, but really delicious. He said it much more eloquently than that. But basically meaning you can come up with all the things that you want, and then a tempting man who's hot, who has the personality and makes you feel fiery inside, can come up to you and make you forget all the things that you claimed you wanted. You can't forget. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying this is an internal choice that you have to make. If you say, I want a loving, caring, all these sorts of things, man, and a hot guy approaches you or gets into your life somehow, you meet him at the gym, you're running into him all the time, through friends or whatever, and your body knows he's not good for you, you have to have the strength to reject him. That's queen energy. You have to have the strength to say, nope, this is not what God has for me. No. Oh, no. See, this isn't a man. This is some immature dude who is not worthy of me and is not able to level up to the king I need him to be, so he cannot infect my life. No. You have to be able to say, no, this is an internal choice. And by the way, it's not an internal choice you make after you meet a man. No. If this is a choice you make after you meet a man, well, he's already so deep into your life, and then you're trying to force your desires onto the man. That's a form of waiting, by the way, when you're forcing your desires onto a man. So let's say you're with a bad dude and you're waiting for him to change, and then you're like, I really want a loving and caring guy. Well, babe, you're currently with a not loving and caring guy. So you're going to need to leave that man before you decide what it is you want. You can't be in something And the guy is the opposite of what you claim to want. And then instead of leaving him, you just start trying to project those things onto him and get him to change. That's a form of waiting. You don't get men to change. You decide what it is you want and you attract that. It's an internal choice you make, and it's a commitment you make to yourself and you hold close to your heart until you get the guy. Period. One thing I'm big on is not pressuring or rushing women to get married. I don't want anyone who watches me to feel like they're in a rush. I have friends who got married at 36 and have 3 kids. Like, you don't need to be in a crazy rush. I just met a woman, she had her first kid at 42. That doesn't work for some other women. Like, you're not in a rush, you're on your own timeline. But I also do want you to know this. You don't need to be in a rush, but there's also not unlimited amounts of time. Like, there's a balance between these two things. I hate that we live in a culture that sort of shames women as they get older. You're not married yet. I don't like that. And also, you must know, we're not dealing with unlimited amounts of time. We're just not. That's reality. So I'm never going to rush you. I want you, if it's not right, don't you dare step into that. You're worthy of the right guy. Not some guy you had to settle for or some guy that doesn't make you feel peace. No, ma'am. I never want that for you. I'm not accepting that for you at all. It's a no from me. But do you have time to waste 7 years on a guy waiting for him to propose? I mean, at some point, like, if you decide you want them, if you decide you're ready for marriage, no, you don't. No, you don't. You could have been married 3 times in that time period. No. And I've been talking a lot about, like, this idea of men know fast. Are you kidding me? Men know fast. Men know fast. And here's the thing that I have a problem with. I am very in support, and I'm sort of part of this movement online. Like, I want women marrying men who are in a good financial position. And I'm not saying he has to be a billionaire. That's never what I'm gonna preach personally, but he needs to have goals. He needs to be a hard worker. He needs to have a financial plan for you and your future family you're gonna build with him. That's non-negotiable. But also, this excuse that men give about, like, well, I'm not ready for marriage now. I want to hit this next financial goal. There's always a next financial goal. I need y'all to know that. I would hope there's always a next financial goal. We're constantly building our financial lives. Like, are we not? We're constantly building wealth. I hope we're constantly putting money into savings. That never ends. That has nothing to do with marriage. You can get married and continue to build. You're gonna be continuing to build financially together even when you're married. So this excuse that men give, oh, I want to do this before marriage. I want to do this. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? We're currently together right now. A lot of y'all are even virtually married. A lot of y'all live with the guy. And he's talking about, oh, I'm not ready for marriage yet. Y'all are literally married without the documentation. This doesn't make any sense. I'm so over that. And I'm not saying you should move in with the guy. I'm just saying that's your reality. A lot of y'all, you're living with the guy and he's psyoping you into thinking, oh, let's just wait a little bit longer until you're married. I'm gonna say it one more time so y'all fully understand. When you decide what it is you want, your target should be to get those things, not a man. So if a man comes into your life and he asks, what are you looking for, whatever, you don't just say, I don't know, or you just, I used to do this when I was like 19. I would just say things that I knew fit the guy because I was an idiot, because I was a moron. That's called being a moron. No, you state the things that it is you want without even thinking about him, because you're not after a specific man. You're not after this man. You're after your desires. And then if he wants you, he levels up to be those things. If he's a party boy and he's out of control, which if you're not looking for a party boy, I don't recommend trying to tame a party boy at all. I'm just saying, I have known guys, and I shouldn't even tell you this example because I don't want you changing I don't want you trying to think like you can fit a party boy into an introvert lifestyle. Do not even think that. But I'm just saying I have known women and guys, I've known married couples where the girl was sort of more introverted and wasn't a big partier. And she met this guy while he was in his party phase. And she said, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. And he was over his party phase. So he stopped it and they lived happily ever after. Like that story does exist. But notice, she simply was not going to accept him at all if he did not change his lifestyle and if he wasn't open to changing his lifestyle. She didn't say, I'm not into party boys, but like, and then allowed him to continue behaving like a buffoon. No, she stated what it was she wants, and then he leveled up to meet that standard. That's what you have to do. When you when you decide internally what it is you want, and then you're going on dates with guys and they're asking you different things about yourself, you don't try to morph into what you think they want or make it comfortable for them. No, you state what it is you want, and then if they want you, they level up, or they try to figure out how to level up, or they try to level up to what it is you want. And by the way, effort counts too. Now, it needs to be authentic effort, but effort counts. If you see a man and he's trying to really level up to that, you need to take that into account. Now, trying to change does not mean like if you say you don't want a party boy, he like starts partying 3 days a week instead of 4. That's not effort. I'm talking about if you've stated a certain like financial goal, like, yeah, I really want to have a house, and he starts telling you he's stacking money away to save for the house, but he doesn't have the house yet. Like that, I'm saying like that counts. But it all comes from your desire, not the man. When you get into marriage, when a man has committed to you through marital vows, documentation, said he's your husband to the government, then you can start, having shared desires with the guy. Until then, oh no, ma'am, I don't believe in shared desires. He's not your husband, and he doesn't owe you anything, and you definitely don't owe him anything. And the problem is, some people will go, yeah, well, he doesn't owe me anything. Man, that'll get you screwed over. That's why you have to be about yourself until you're married. Stop waiting on guys. Stop waiting on them to change. Stop waiting on specific guys to be ready. Decide what it is you want. As a queen, attract that thing and trust that if you can hold that desire, a man who sees you as worthy and sees you as the precious angel you are will level up to meet that desire and that standard. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I was gone from YouTube for a second. I'm really excited to be back, and I promise I'll be making more videos. Subscribe if you loved it. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ChristianWalk1R, and I'll see you soon. Bye.